It was a beautiful day, the sun beat down, I had the radio on, I was driving, trees flew by, me and Del were singing, little runaway, I was flying, yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me, working on a mystery, going where it leads, running down a dream.
Good evening, race fans. We are here for the SRL Cup Series at the beautiful Watkins Glen International Speedway in Watkins. I knew that. In Watkins Glen, New York. An 8-turn track. We're going here for 50 laps. just finishing up qualifying right now in the back half of it. Currently, our provisional leader is the 90 of Sam Brochu as it stands for right now with a 1 minute 11 second and .118 time. Elliot Drummond was faster in practice with a 1:10.885, but he now jumps to the top of the boards with a 1:10.881. He looks like he'll be the man to beat today at Watkins Glen. As we look at James Thurston as he makes his way through the carousel. James Thurston had a pretty good run at, I believe it was Pocono last week, and then 2 weeks ago, my mistake. He had a good run at Pocono and Michigan, but sadly fell off near the end. Looking to redeem himself, currently in the 5th position as it stands. This track, as he bumps the wall a little bit. Well, there goes his flying lap. But as it stands, it's going to be a tough race. Aaron Brown, well, that sucks for him. Look at Benjamin A. Walker making his way through the carousel. The bus stop is easily going to be the biggest point of contention. Very tricky corner, in and out. You kind of flick it around a little bit to get through it fast. And anyone who's driven the virtual NASCAR Next-Gens on iRacing know that the bumps and the curbs can really throw off a car, because when that car bottoms out, it can be difficult to control. Aiden Walker making his way to the start-finish line on what I believe is his flying lap. He will set, well, I don't know. It doesn't show up on the board right here. But, 111, oh yeah, a 111.750, my mistake. The board for me did not update. I'm sorry about that. Looking at Malachi Drake, the former iScar driver, won the 2021 iScar 1987 race at Talladega. Robbed it from yours truly, Garrett Hess. But the past is in the past, and Malachi Drake looking to have a good run. As you saw how loose he got in the bus stop. That bus stop can be a killer. And it's very easy to get an off track in the 1X or an off track in the bus stop. And any incident point, even if it's a 0X, will derail your qualifying hopes because it invalidates a lap. But we have 2 minutes to go. People finishing up their final laps. But it looks like Elliot Drummond at the moment is going to be the person to beat for pole, with his qualifying time of 1:10.881. But if he keeps up this pace, then he might go. He might make. I believe this will be his second win of the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, he's been a fast driver in the past couple of weeks, and he looks like he's on good pace to at least contend for a top 3, maybe a win if things go his way. Since this is a road course race, there are no cautions like there are in the real life series. There's no stages either, so it's just going to be straight green to checkers, no cautions in between. We're going to, of course, like Michigan and Pocono, we're going to have some pit strategy go into play. And we have an interviewee for the race just as it's about to begin. Blaze McKinney in the number 87. Can you hear me, Blaze?
I gotcha.
All right, what's your expectations coming in for this race at Watkins Glen? I know it's going to be a little tricky one.
Yeah, definitely gonna be tough. Had a little lack of practice coming into this one, but I feel comfortable. I think just throughout the race, just gonna get more comfortable with the car, the braking markers, and everything. The first run is just gonna be me getting used to the track better and learning the car, where I'm supposed to be braking and everything. Haven't raced here in a while, so just gonna try to get in the groove of things, get in a rhythm. This track's all about rhythm, especially with this car and the road courses, just all about rhythm. So Just gonna try to work my way up through in the top 5. Hopefully by the end of this thing. Just gonna try to finish this thing clean. I don't know if I have the speed Elliott and Sam have, and Jordan and all the guys up there, but just gonna try to get up there and contend for a top 5. Hopefully at least the top 10. Just keep the car on the track. Just stay clean. That's pretty much the goal.
Yeah, you're completely right about this car and this track being a thing of rhythm, because you know how me and you both know how quickly this car can snap at you, and in a
Oh,
track
for sure.
like Watkins Glen, it can be really hard to save, especially in the bus stop. It is so punishing. Well,
Absolutely.
it's time to grit up. We'll see you in the race, and good luck, my man.
I appreciate it.
All right, that was Blaze McKinney. Qualifying is up. The cars are gritting up. Let's get a little qualifying order graphic right on the screen right now so I can show you who is starting. Who's the starting order, basically. On pole is Elliott Drummond. Next to him is Sam Brochu in second place. A respectable qualifying effort from him. In third is Jordan Coons. Came close at Michigan, couldn't get it done. And right next to him is the winner of Michigan, Trevor Huff. Give me 1 second. All right, row 3 in position 5 is James Thurston and Jason Rajkar. Row 4 is Aiden Walker and Aaron Brown in the 18. Trevor C. Burns in the 02 and Shane DeMantilva make up row 5. Blaze McKinney in the 87 and Malachi Drake in the 08 in row 6. Alexander Schumacher and Aaron Schubel in row 7. Caleb McKinney in the 76 and Corey Lyles in the 56. Let's go through the rest of your starting order. Find your favorite driver as we head to the green flag. All right, pace car is in. Green flag in the air. Elliott Drummond off to a good start. He's going to have the inside line. Looks like people are just going to try to take it easy into turn 1. Sam Brochu looks like he's going to get second place and slot in front of Jordan Kuntz. This is going to be a more of a race of endurance more than anything, because this track doesn't have a lot of turns, but it can be very punishing to those who do not pay attention. Working their way into the treacherous bus stop, Elliott Drummond clips the grass a little bit. Sam Brochu right on his back bumper, and then into the carousel, one of the most famous corners in America. That wide sweeping corner, and then onto the runoff. You can use the runoff in the NASCARs at this track. iRacing changed it a little bit, but it's fine. It's whatever. But coming to the final corner, I believe this is turn 8 and turn 8, I believe. Yep. And Elliott Drummond will take the lead for the first lap. Off the final corner. That's what I meant. And there are 2 people who did not start this race. The 5 of Eric Heater and the 50 of Luke Peters. I don't know what happened to them, but they are sadly not in this race. We had Aaron Brown sadly disconnect. I don't know what happened to him, but he was posed to start 8th place, but now he is out of the session. Maybe he had something to do. Who knows? But lap 2 of 50, Elliott Drummond holds about a 5-car length lead in front of Sam Brochu. And it looks like this is going to be some traditional road course racing. The cars are starting to string out a lot as people try to wind some laps down. No need to do any crazy moves for positions on lap 2 out of 50, but you sure do want to keep close to 7 people. And despite the short length of the track, the draft isn't that much of a factor, because this is a very windy track for its length. as we look at, I believe that is yeah, Jason Alexander and Sean Rowe, I believe. Yeah, and Sean Rowe having a good battle in between into the S is my mistake, and ooh, that's a really risky place to be in because the the corner basically closes off. So looks like Sean Rowe had to back out a little bit. Oh, getting real close to Jason Alexander in the bus stop, but all is well that ends well. Looks like he's going to pull away a little bit from Jason Alexander, but now he has to work on the back of Corey Lyles, who has proven to be a fast driver. And let's see if he's faster than Sean Rowe in this current moment. But some good clean racing, some good decent racing as Sean Rowe looks to the inside of Corey Lyles. Corey Lyles gets a good run out of the corner, can't get it done. Coming into the final corner there, Lyles, Rowe, and Alexander are all really close together as Sean Rowe looks to the inside of Corey Lyles. Looks like he's going to try to make a semi-aggressive move. Corey Lyles just lets him by. No need to do anything crazy. But as I was saying, no need to do anything crazy. You can still slowly work your way up through the field. But with these longer lap times, there's still somewhat of a sense of urgency because you can't just wait a little bit to say because you know if you do that, you're just gonna lose more time to the person in front of you. It's not a short track racing where you can stay right behind someone and be there for a little bit. It's just once they're ahead of you, it can be really hard to reel them back in. And we look at, I believe that is Sam. No, that's not Sam Butcher. Oh, let me see real quick. Oh, Shane DeMantova, my mistake. Still getting used to the drivers in this league, as you can tell. Look at Traver C. Burns in the O2. He's had a pretty good last couple of races. Been pretty quiet, really. And if he can keep this up, he'll be in a good finishing position. A top 10 at Watkins Glen is no easy feat, and I think he'll have reason to celebrate as he's trailing Jason Radchcock for right now. But oh, we have a spinner. That is the 9 of Tristan Troll. Oh, the 0, my mistake. It says 9 on the graphic. Spins it around. Looks like he's got it back on track. That's just a little bit of an error. These cars are very slippery, especially on colder tires, since this is only lap 6. So, tough break for Tristan Hull in the 0, and he's going to slide probably all the way back to the back of the running order. He already wasn't doing too well, but this is just going to put salt in the proverbial wound at this point. But Elliott Drummond in the lead, getting hounded by Sam Brochu. Elliott Drummond has led all of the laps so far, 5 out of 5, but there is still a lot of time to go in this race. So we'll have to see how this battle pans out. Elliott Drummond and Sam Brochu have already pulled out to about a 3-second lead to Jordan Kuntz, who's under attack right now by James Thurston, as you can see right behind, as Kuntz gets put way wide, and Trevor Huff right behind him looking to pounce on this, as Thurston snags the wall out of the final corner, giving Jordan Kuntz and Trevor Huff a good run. Maybe Trevor Huff will be able to get a position from Thurston, with Thurston looking to fight back, and he will keep his position for now from Trevor Huff. But some good battling as per usual at this track. some slippery cars at a slippery track, you know that's going to be a recipe for some good racing. Whoa! You can see in front of you, James Thurston went a little bit into the grass. Normally, that's not what you want to do, as he overshoots the bus stop and nearly wipes out Jordan Kuntz. But like I said earlier, all's well that ends well, as Trevor Huff starts to bring the offensive on James Thurston, puts him out wide. Lots of runoff, thankfully. So position gained for Trevor Huff. He moves himself into the 4th position. And we'll have to see later on if James Thurston will make a move back onto Trevor Huff, or will Huff continue carving his way through the field. Tristan Troll, who was the person who spun out earlier, he has disconnected from the session. He said it is enough for me. Guess he spun out and was like, this track isn't for me, and left the session. So he will be credited with currently 21st place. But going back to the battle between Jordan Kuntz and Trevor Huff, looks like they're pulling away a little bit from James Thurston. Maybe Thurston decided to dial it back a little bit, but they're getting really close together between Jordan Kuntz and Trevor Huff, almost cutting the bus stop. But through the carousel, great passing opportunity if you can get a good run out of it. But it looks like these two have stayed quite even coming into the this next corner, which is also a great passing option. But looks like they're just going to try to be a little cordial, as Trevor Huff gets a good run. Thought about going to the outside, might try a crossover right here, and he will, to the inside of Jordan Kuntz. They're side by side coming to the line, and it looks like Trevor Huff has the advantage. Jordan Kuntz breaks early just to let Trevor Huff by, and maybe we'll see something like we did at Michigan, where Trevor Huff will carve his way to the front. He's currently setting about half a lap slower than the leader, or half a second slower than the leaders. Him nearly hitting the wall caught me off guard for a second. But as the race continues, the pace of people will fluctuate when the tires come into effect. A weird thing about the next gen that I don't know if iRacing patched, but there isn't a lot of tire wear. So at least in my experience with racing these next gens on road courses, you do not take tires because there is barely any wear, and it could save you about 10 seconds to someone who just takes fuel. So I don't know if iRacing has patched that, since I haven't done a lot of road course racing in these cars recently. But if that is the case, we might see some people jump through the field because they were not aware of this information. But Elliott Drummond with a pretty healthy lead to Sam Brochu, a little bit above half a second, and then right behind is about 5.5 seconds to Trevor Huff and everyone else. So it looks like for the moment it's just going to be a 2-car battle between the two fastest men in this race, Sam Brochu and Elliott Drummond. And let's work our way to people we haven't talked about before in the field, as there can be good racing. Oh, Traver C. Burns stopped in the S's. My mistake. Let's get a good replay on what happened. Comes out of turn 1, gets into the S's on the curbs. Looks like he just overdrove it a little bit. Those curbs are deadly, and you do have to lift off a little bit in the S's. And yeah, it looks like he just got on the curbs a little too much, and that upset this very finicky next-gen car, and he just got spun. He got spun around. Looks like not a lot of harm happened. Just barely kissed the wall, and then had to wait for cars to pass. But looks like he will be able to do a quick Yui and get around, and he'll lose a lot of time, but we'll see if he can make up some of the positions that he lost as the race goes on. As he currently drops to, I believe, yeah, 20th place. So he's last right now in the cars currently running. Not a very good, not a very good race for him so far, as we saw Tristan Troll pull off the track and leave the session after his spin. But going back to the battle that's going on right now, it is Shane DeMantova, Jason Radcock, Sean Rowe, and I believe that is Aaron Schugel, all battling together. Well, Sean Rowe with Jason Radcock with a little bit of an advantage, but these three, DeMantova, Sean Rowe, and Aaron Schugel, are all pretty close together. Some good moves can be happening as, oh, that's Blaze McKinney in the 87. My apologies, we were talking to him earlier. Works his way into the top 10 with a good move on Shane DeMantova. Looks like he's been hustling a little bit, and maybe he'll be able to catch some of the cars in front of him if he keeps up this speed. But only time will tell, as the cars in front of him are still quite a ways away, with a great shot of the bus stop. The cars working their way through the bus stop. That's always a great couple of camera angles coming through the carousel. A beautiful track, this revamped Watkins Glen. iRacing did a great job rescanning the track, making the track look pretty, and it's a gorgeous track both in real life and on the sim. But lap 13 out of 50 is in the books, as is usual through the entire race. Elliott Drummond and Sam Brochu are your two leaders. Elliott Drummond has, looks like he's gained a little bit from Sam Brochu pulling away. And maybe Elliott Drummond can go 2 for 3 in the SRL. He won at Pocono. He didn't have a great Michigan performance, and then he's going at this pace to be a very happy man at the end of this race. But we look at Shane DeMantova coming under heavy fire from Aaron Schugel, as Aaron Schugel got really loose in the bus stop. I believe what happened is that he might have tried to cut the bus stop a little too aggressively and clipped the guardrail. That's what I think what happened. Let's get a better angle, since this is a little bit of a shallow angle, but it looks like he was trying to pass DeMantova coming into the bus stop. Had to brake a little early, and yeah, let's see what happens right here. It looks like he had to brake a little bit later than he expected, and right into the camera. Good smooch on the camera, and that's a little bit of right front damage, but I don't think it should affect the car too badly. He's already trying to close the gap to DeMantova again, but some pretty good battling throughout the midfield of this race so far. But everyone's pretty strung out besides these couple of cars. And currently, we have a development here. Caleb McKinney has retired from this session. He just gave up and said, I'm done. Oh yeah, it looks like he just couldn't. It looks like he just didn't get the bus stop right. The bus stop's always a really technical corner. Yep, I believe he turned in a little. Yeah, he turned in a little too early, just like Aaron Schugel did, but he got punished a lot more. Kind of just you can cut the bus stop a little bit entering, but you're really playing with fire. And it looks like Caleb McKinney got burned and just gave up after that. Nudged the wall again, and he was out of the session. Glenn Bundren Jr. has left the session as well. Don't know what happened to him. We'll have to see what caused him to leave. He was running, I believe, about he was running about 17th, so he wasn't having that great of a day anyways. We're looking at Blaze McKinney as he flies through the bus stop. That's basically as best as you can do the bus stop without hitting the wall or spinning the car, like we've seen a couple of times. Blaze McKinney looking for a good points day, as currently he is one spot out of the playoff cut line for the Final Four, which will be decided at Bristol in a couple of weeks on the 30th of October, right before Halloween. So looks like Blaze McKinney, a good strong finish here, will give him some breathing room to the people behind. Currently the top four for the Final Four at the last race of this season, provisionally right now, is Jordan Coons, Elliott Drummond, Alexander Schumacher, and Trevor Huff. And all of those drivers are in front of Alexander Schumacher right now, who is currently in the 12th position. So I'm all the way in the back behind Blaze McKinney in the background of the shot. But I think Alex Schumacher will have to, I don't want to say up his game, but he'll have to pick up the pace just a smidge or hope for some sort of unfortunate event to happen to the guys who are challenging him, because currently he will not make the Final Four. And good luck to him, but if this pace and the race at Michigan and Pocono were any factors, it's going to be a pretty contested Final Four. I hate the format, but it does create some good storylines coming into the last race. But Sam Brochu has gained a little bit of time on Elliott Drummond. It went from about 0.8 of a second to 0.5 of a second, as both of them have pulled a wide margin on Trevor Huff, about 8 seconds. So it looks like unless these two guys get in an accident or something, it will be a 2-horse race to the finish as we approach lap 18 out of 50. Still a long ways to go here at Watkins Glen International. Working their way into turn 1. It's still a close battle between these two. I think it's going to be like that for the entirety of this race. They've just been nose to tail for almost 20 laps right now. We're almost halfway through this race at Watkins Glen. So you look at, that is the number 10 of Jason Alexander spinning in turn 1 and nudging the tire barrier a little bit to see what caused that. We got the shot right as he was spinning out. So yeah, he just took turn 1 too aggressively. The back end started to slide out, and once the back end slides out in these cars, it can be very difficult to save it. Gets the car back going, but there's a noticeable amount of damage on the front end of that 10 car, and he drops all the way back to the back of the running order. But it's a shame to see that happen to the number 10 car. He was running pretty well. I believe he was running the top 10, but he will be the first lapped car for these two leaders to come across. If you look on Elliott Drummond's hood, as he very slowly starts to creep up on Jason Alexander. Don't know if Jason Alexander has any engine troubles or not, but this is where the most time gained or lost is. As you can see, they fly up on Jason Alexander through the bus stop, one of the most pivotal corners in the track, and if you get it right, you gain so much time, easily 0.1 of a second. But Jason Alexander, being a good lap car, gets out of the way in the carousel. That should be a lesson to all road racers on iRacing on how to be a good lap car. But either way, still a good battle for the lead. Sam Brochu looks to the inside of Elliott Drummond. They almost touched. Elliott Drummond did not have a good second to last corner as he gets in the grass a little bit down the straight, coming into turn one. It's going to be a very contested turn one. Elliott Drummond gets the run on the outside, and they're still side by side entering the S's. This could end badly. It looks like Elliott Drummond backs off a little bit, gives Sam Brochu the spot, and we'll see if Elliott Drummond and Sam Brochu will still be very close to each other as they come up on Joseph Lewis, and not the best of spots. Oh yeah, Elliott Drummond caught Joseph Lewis at quite possibly the worst possible time entering the bus stop, and he's gonna lose a lot of time to Sam Brochu. So I don't believe that Elliott Drummond's gonna be too happy with the number 82 of Joseph Lewis, but that's what happens. Just bad timing for both of them. And Sam Brochu extends his lead to Elliott Drummond. Elliott Drummond's been so fast. He was 0.3 of a second faster in practice than Sam Brochu, so I'm not going to doubt that he can make up any time, but it's going to be a little bit of work as he drops back from, I'd say, about 0.2 of a second to 2 seconds. So lots of work ahead for Elliott Drummond. Just got unlucky with the lap cars. He's led 19 out of the 20 laps. So early race dominance for the number 2 car as we look at Corey Lyles. Another spin in turn 1. Just turn 1 can really bite you. And it was similar to what happened to Jason Alexander, but at a slower speed. But Corey Lyles is able to get that car running again. We look at Shane DeMantova and that nicely painted number 20 car. Jason Alexander and Joseph Lewis in the back, but either way, tough break for everyone involved. We look at Malachi Drake, currently the IceCar veteran, as I've said many a times. Pretty quiet day for him. I think that Watkins Glen is not his best track. Last ran a 1:13.5, so I don't want to say off pace, but it doesn't look like he has the stuff to win right now. But this is the SRL Cup Series. Anything can happen. We saw what happened at Michigan. Some crazy finishes happened. So anything is on the table for almost every driver that hasn't gone a lap down or disconnected from the session. Sorry about that. I had to get a nice little drink. My throat was getting parched. "23 out of 50 laps completed at Watkins Glen, approaching halfway." But Sam Brochu in the number 90. It says 25 on the screen. It's a little bit of a disparity between league and what's on his car, but it's whatever. What matters is that he is leading this race. He's kept a pretty steady gap on Elliott Drummond, about a little over 2 seconds, but one bad corner or one bad lapped car can change everything. Sean Rowe in 8th place at the moment with a pretty good but mostly quiet race. He has started 21st, but has made his way up pretty quickly. So if he could start 21st and make his way up to 8th, who knows how far he can climb up. Sam Brochu and Elliott Drummond are the first cars to be in pit lane, along with Alexander Schumacher, but Schumacher is going to be a little bit off cycle. Trevor Huff is going to be the car staying out. But Trevor Huff is currently the provisional leader, while Sam Brochu just starts to pull out of pit lane. Elliott Drummond right behind. Be interesting to see how much time gained or lost will happen, but Sam Brochu will have Blaze McKinney behind him, and then Blaze McKinney will be in front of a hard charging Elliott Drummond. I don't know if McKinney will move out of the way, because why would he? There's no real incentive. But Blaze McKinney, an honest driver, as Trevor Huff pulls into pit lane on lap 24, and he will cede the lead that rhymed to Sam Brochu. Trevor Huff, James Thurston, I believe that is, I cannot tell in that third little spot. The 93 of Aiden Walker, the 71 of Jason Radcock. Is that the 99 of Jordan Kuntz in there as well? Blaze McKinney is in. Number 20 of Shane DeMantova. My mistake. I did not mean Jordan Kuntz was in pit lane. That is Sean Rowe. It could be, sometimes custom numbers can be a little confusing. But speaking of Jordan Kuntz, he's currently the leader as it stands, but he'll have to pit sometime soon. And it looks like this will be the lap that he does. Pulls into pit lane exactly at halfway. Ooh, that was close. And do you believe it? Jordan Kuntz got speeding onto pit road. Oh, you hate to see it. That's exactly what you don't want to do at a track where there are no cautions. Tough break for Jordan Kuntz. Looks like he just tried to maximize. Oh, we have a caution out. We have a caution out. I lied about there not being cautions. Jason Alexander has called the caution. That is the first time I've ever seen a caution on a road course, and I've been on iRacing for about 6 years. Let's get a replay on what happened. Oh, we did? Okay. And it looks like, yeah, it's hard to tell. It looks like both Radcock and Jason Alexander's spun around, or almost spun, but Radcock makes it through. Jason Alexander didn't, and I don't know why Jason Alexander threw the caution. His car was able to, get back going. So what I said about there being no cautions, that's out the window. As I've said earlier, I've been on iRacing for quite a while, and I have never, ever seen a caution on a road course. But this will bunch up the field again. There might be, I don't know if there's going to be a little bit of controversy surrounding this, because this is the first caution in the league's history, and definitely in the Cup Series history, or the first, yeah, on a road course, the first road course caution. There's a lot of cautions in SRL, but this is the first time it has been at a road course. So we'll have to get an explanation on that, because we've seen a lot of spins in the uh, in turn one and in the bus stop that were just like Jason Alexander's, but cautions weren't called for that. So a little bit of mid-race drama. But this will certainly create a good bunch, a little bunch up for these drivers. I don't believe that pit strategy will be a thing anymore, because these drivers can just save fuel under caution if need be. And this saves the 68 of Alex Schumacher from, I believe, going another lap down, if I'm not mistaken. And Corey Lyles is your lucky dog for this caution, this strange caution. And the producer had a miscalculation. Alexander Schumacher was 2 laps down and did not get the lucky dog. Corey Lyles has been waved around the pace car. But this is interesting. A bunch of cars pull down pit lane. Most of the leaders, in fact, are in pit lane. But we'll have to see who gets out first. And Elliott Drummond took tires. Elliott Drummond took tires. Looks like he forgot to uncheck the tires. He's gonna fall way back. And like I said earlier, tires aren't that necessary on road courses. So I don't know if this was a, just a oopsie, or he was just planning on getting tires anyways. But he's gonna fall way through the order, and Jordan Kuntz will be your leader, which is pretty strange to say, considering that he recently got a black flag for speeding. So if there's one thing that Jordan Kuntz needed, looks like it was a yellow flag. So something has blessed that 99 car to not suffer too much from the black flag, and he's currently in the lead of this race as Elliott Drummond falls way back. Looks like he's gonna be stuck behind Sean Rowe and Jason Radchcock, while this opens up the door for Sam Brochu, who was pretty tough competition for Elliott Drummond. So Sam Brochu could be sitting nice and pretty if he can get through the first couple of corners cleanly, because Elliott Drummond will have to work his way through other cars, and will definitely be held up a little bit by, I'd say about 5 or 6 cars, while Sam Brochu has to just work around Jordan Kuntz for the lead. But as I believe we're coming to 1 lap to green, as cars shuffle around to choose their starting positions, Jordan Kuntz and Sam Brochu start on the inside. Pace car lights are off, so next time by, we will be going green. James Thurston elects to be the first car on the outside for what used to be a pretty tame Watkins Glen race, but has been definitely shaken up. Seems like every time I get in the booth, something crazy happens. But Sam Brochu and Jordan Kuntz are your first row, and then it's going to be my mistake. I'm looking off the relative. Looks like Jordan Kuntz and James Thurston are going to be your front row. Sam Brochu and Jason Radchcock are going to be row number 2. Blaze McKinney and Sean Rowe. Sean Rowe's having a nice day. your third row, and then two pretty fast guys, Aiden Walker and Elliott Drummond. Um, those are th- those are almost your top 10, but a very contested race so far, and it's going to be even more contested as Elliott Drummond will have to work his way through the field. But coming around the carousel, gonna have a restart with 21 laps to go in this 50-lap race. We're past halfway, so it's going to be interesting, to say the least. So currently, your top 10 is Jordan Kuntz, Sam Brochu, James Thurston, Blaze McKinney, Jason Radchcock, Sean Rowe, Elliott Drummond, Trevor Huff, Aiden Walker, and Aaron Jugel. Coming to the last set of corners for this caution period. I hope that there's not another caution. This has been a little wacky, but the final corner, pace car is going to come in. I don't believe that there's a Geico restart zone for this track, so it's gonna be on leader discretion. And we're waiting. Green flag is out. Jordan Kuntz with a nice start. Clears James Thurston. He's gonna get a good entrance into turn 1 as Sam Brochu looks to the inside of James Thurston, and oh, they get together. Whoa, huge contact between the front two as Sam Brochu just dumps Thurston. Oh my goodness gracious! Now this is some drama. Our producer, I believe, left to get some food, so I'll give you the rundown on what happened. While we wait for our producer to come back, I'll tell you what happened. Looks like Sam Brochu ran a little wide in turn 1, got into James Thurston, and then Thurston nearly clears. Oh, I don't know if he dumped him. That was a little bit of getting too excited. Looks like James Thurston tried to take the S's and then just came across the nose of Sam Brochu. But the common racing term is cautions breed more cautions, and well, look what happened. But it looks like that. I believe James Thurston was the only one involved in this wreck, so he's one, he's not going to be too happy, but two, it doesn't look like too much is going to happen. As welcome back, Andrew Schulte, our race producer. You missed quite a bit in such a short amount of time. I was not expecting that. Let's get a good replay of this. So pace car's in. And then the green flag's about to come out. All right, Jordan Kuntz steps on it, gets a good clearance from the field, and Sam Brochu and James Thurston. Yeah, Brochu runs a little wide, gets into the side of Thurston, and I believe Thurston thought he was clear. Comes across the nose of Brochu. Brochu didn't really have anything. Anywhere to go, and kind of had to run into the side of him, sort of like Marcus Ambrose in 2013. But more drama to what was already a pretty drama-filled caution period, or at least from my standards, it was drama-filled. But the free pass for this caution period goes to the number 82 of Joseph Lewis. If the SRL, it has cautions. All leagues have cautions, but I was not expecting one of those or two of those cautions to be on a track where iRacing doesn't throw cautions. So a big curveball in what was a normally tame race. It will be interesting to see what post-race review will have to say about this. But James Thurston didn't lose a lot of positions because the caution was called pretty early. So, despite spinning through the infield, he's currently in 5th place. I don't want to cause any hype, but maybe we'll see some early Halloween gifts given out 29 days before it happens. But there's something to always keep these SRL races interesting, and we got 2 instances of it. It's kind of crazy how this all panned out. Hopefully this will be the last caution, because these caution periods take forever. These road courses aren't really designed to have cautions, so there's no quick cautions like there would be at Daytona or Talladega or Pocono. So about 2.5 minute pacing speeds, especially for cautions this close together, will be certainly a slog, to say the least. Choose cone rule is in effect. So Jordan Kuntz and Blaze McKinney choose the inside. Sam Brochu looks to the outside. Elliott Drummond, right behind Sam Brochu. Let's see how well that will work out for him. James Thurston, the guy who spun in the S's, somehow is in 5th place. I don't know how. Chooses the inside. This is gonna be an interesting restart, for sure. That's all I can really say, because I'm personally speechless. I can't believe that something like this happened twice. Because, like I said earlier, cars have been spun and have spun in the past during this race, and no cautions have come out. And then the Jason Alexander caution comes out, and like I said earlier, it's always said that cautions breed cautions, and this is a shining example of it. The field's going to be bunched up again. It's gonna be 17 laps to go when we go green. There's definitely people going to be more aggressive for positions, especially during the playoffs, so for points as well. And I think that one person who wants to make his way back up will be that number 4 of James Thurston. But after this restart, we will be having a crank it up. So I will be saying green flag, and then I will hand it off to our producer to do the crank it up. So coming into turn 7 and into turn 8. Yeah, turn 8. Gonna have a restart coming to 17 to go. Jordan Kuntz leads with Sam Brochu on his outside, Blaze McKinney and Elliott Drummond on their back bumpers. But pace car coming in, and we'll be waiting for Jordan Kuntz to stomp the gas. Stacks up the field a little bit, hits the gas, green flag, and we'll turn it away to crank it up. come back from her. Crank it up. Something pretty big happened. Jordan Coombs cuts on, got passed by Sam Roach, and he overdrove it in turn 1, spins out. And personally, I don't know why this wasn't a caution. Like, how come that this fun? And they get called cautions, but Jordan Coombs spins out. No caution's called. I don't get it. It's something weird, and if people don't like what I say, then oh well. But it's just weird that this type of stuff is happening. And that's Trevor Huff being out as well. That was weird. But Sam Brochu, currently your leader. And Blaze McKinney, James Thurston, Sean Rose having a pretty good day. So in the top 10 all day. And his lowest position today was 7 points. Basically been podium with the top 5. So with this big bunch of cars from 2nd to 4th, have to see if he can slice his way through, considering his speed earlier in the race. A very wacky turn of events, to say the least. Sam Brochu opens up a 1.5 second lead. 1.5 second lead to Blaze McKinney. Drama. 14 laps to go, and Sam Brochu might have it made. But I don't want to jinx it, that's why I said might. But some interesting racing going on. Elliott right now is Jason Ratchcock. Or, that's Sean Rowe, my mistake. And looks like he'll be able to clear it out of turn 7. Clear Rowe out of turn 7. And that's another if he wants to catch Sam Brochu. And this has just been wild, to say the least. Sam Brochu has pulled away from Blaze McKinney and the rest of the field. Sam Brochu has, I said that Elliott Drummond was but right now it is Sam Brochu as he has a considerable lead. Elliott Drummond, 2.5 seconds. Elliott Drummond will need something to happen, or by the way things have gone, might just need another caution. But anyways, I'm trying to get past before the second. Looks on right behind, looking to pounce on any mistake, as they are basically under Sean Rowe right behind. James Thurston runs way wide. I don't know if that SRL counts, but that number 4 car looks like it's a little loose in the corners. Blaze McKinney taking a defensive line into turn 1, holds the inside and slots in front of James Thurston. If I was Elliott Drummond, I'd be making just by peeking in and out maybe, but Elliott Drummond's a much better race car driver than I am. And it's going to be interesting not to see in the bus stop. Traditionally not a place where you want to make move because it tightens up so much. Basically like the tunnel turn at Pocono, but and it might happen again. As way wide, trying to get a good run on McKinney. Gets to his inside, early dive bomb, can't get it done. There's McKinney, holds his ground. Elliott Drummond now on the inside of James Thurston. Sean Rowe gets to the inside as well. Looks like James Thurston will lose 2 spots from 3rd to 5th, but he's on the outside of Sean Rowe. His customers are a little bit. I'll learn them one day. Elliott Drummond now on the back of Blaze McKinney, 30 seconds behind the leader, Sam Brochi. We have 11 laps to go. Unless we have the top, I think that will basically have to be content with passing Blaze McKinney if he can. And Riley Marabello has disconnected from the session. I don't know what happened to him. He might have yes, disconnected from the session, and he will score 18th place. But anyways, Elliott Drummond all over the back of Blaze McKinney. Maybe trying to force him into a mistake, as we saw Blaze McKinney mid-loose. Blaze McKinney taking a defensive straight. Elliott Drummond 2 is outside. Can Drummond get a good run out of turn 1? They get really close together. Elliott Drummond powers off on the outside. Drummond to take the spot from Blaze McKinney, moves up into the second. But I think that Sam Rose is just a little bit too far ahead from Elliott Drummond to make Elliott Drummond's wishes of a win come true. Unless something happens to Sam Rose. We saw what happened to Jordan Coombs. It can happen to anyone. So this is Watkins Glen. This is SRL. Things that have never happened before can happen. So we'll still be on the edge of our seats to see if anything happens for the race. And a big slide out of Elliott Drummond out of the lap. Drick. Nice to see that he didn't hit the wall, but good. Looks like the car is a little bit loose on that number 2 car. The cars are really loose. The next-gen cars tend to bottom out on banking like Watkins Glen, but I've never really seen them get this loose. It seems like people near the front are pretty good at controlling the cars, the rear end of their cars. And I know that Elliott Drummond is probably pushing his car to the limit to try to get up to Sam Rose. Away from Blaze McKinney, Sean Rowe. Blaze McKinney and Sean Rowe in a pretty tight battle behind Elliott Drummond for the 3rd position. We come to 8 laps to go. Lap 43 out of 50. Sean Rowe, an aggressive move right behind Blaze McKinney and runs way wide. Tried to dive bomb on Blaze McKinney, locked up the right front and slid it off way wide. Good job by McKinney. Clicked a little earlier, or a little harder, so he didn't get absolutely by Sean Rowe. But either way, Sean Rowe is putting on a great performance. I haven't seen him in recent races. So in that number 24 car, or 24, 99, whatever you want to call James Thurston for the 5th place. Blaze McKinney in 3rd place, looking to get another interview spot. Remember, the top 3 are the cars that get interviewed, so maybe he's looking forward to after pretty good showing. Started in 11th and made his way up to 3rd place, but Sam Brochu has been one to beat. But Blaze McKinney has been very good all season. He's only a couple points behind Alex Schumacher for the final spot in the Final 4 as it stands. And with this race, he'll probably vault himself up to 3rd, with Trevor Huff having a little spin in turn 7. But he's able to hold his ground well in front of James Thurston and Sean Rowe. Whoa! Oh no! Oh, wow. I hate to see that. No caution called, despite being in the racing line. Let's get a replay on what happened there. We were just talking about it. Looks like Blaze McKinney trying to get a run on across James Thurston's nose, and that spun him around. Didn't lose too many positions, I believe, because there was such a gap between him and Benjamin Walker. But tough break for that 87 car. Yeah, with Jordan. Now he's gonna face fire from Jordan Coons. He's made a pretty respectable comeback after the spin in that 99 car. His way up from the back to 6th place, and we haven't really talked about that much. Look at Tracy Burns right behind Jordan Coons. Pretty quiet day. 8th place. He started in 9th, so he's right around where he started. But hey, if you start in the top 10 and you finish in the top 10, there's kind of the top 10. But Jordan Coons looking on the outside of Blaze McKinney. Let's see if he can get the spot coming into turn 7. Close. Blaze McKinney's able to hold it off in the final 2 corners. Jordan Coons being persistent, trying to get the run on the outside, close to the wall. And what a move by Jordan Coons. He's going to fight back on the inside. We have 5 laps to go. Blaze McKinney is real close. Good racing here at Watkins Glen. This track is some awesome in real life, like 2012 in the Cup Series. But this is the SRL Cup. Still great racing. And we could have any position, especially for position number 6. And I'm sure that Jordan Coons is kicking himself for spinning in on that restart with a big slide from Blaze McKinney. That was a good save. Like I said earlier, Jordan Coons did spin. Dropped all the way to the bottom, and now he's back in the top 10. He'd probably want to catch Aiden Walker, as they mentioned. Ooh, Jordan Coons slashed the wall a little bit. Anyways, probably wants to catch up Walker for 5th place, but I think he'll have to settle for P6 if he can keep it straight. Aiden Walker, I haven't talked about him too much in the 93. He started 7th, my mistake. Been in the top 10 all day. Lowest position has been 9th. But the top 5 will help his championship efforts out very nicely, as I believe he may be 2nd in SRL points. So a good point showing will certainly bolster his points, as he has a pretty slow carousel. Want to do a little bit of Walker landscaping, but Sam Brochu all the way up in front. 4 to go. Elliott Drummond right behind him. Sean Rose showing all the way up to 23rd. James Thurston right behind him. And this is all within 10 seconds. So, top 4 in 10 seconds, then it falls off drastically. Sean Rowe, he started 23rd. 23rd, my mistaken. Started 23rd, and he's worked his way up to 3rd place. Of course, caution is I'm not gonna lie, but he has had a good pace. James Thurston behind him got caught up in the second restart bracket. Or the record for the first restart, and I don't want to say he got lucky. The caution got caught at the right time to where he only dropped a couple, but he has been fast. I'm not going to take that away from him. He's currently sitting in the 4th position as we're coming to 2 to go with Sam Brochu in the lead. He's basically been dominant since the second half of this race. Ever since that first caution, and Joseph Lewis holding coming up in the bus stop like back 19, someone just happened on the exact lap. He's been a beneficiary of this. I'm not going to take away that he's been very, very fast. I'm pretty sure that was the fastest lap set in this race. Yeah, he has the fastest lap in this race by 2 tenths with another run. Sam Brochu is absolutely flying. Elliott Drummond's pretty much the only person that can overtake him too. Looks like he's pretty far behind in those restarts. And he had bad, I wouldn't say bad, he made a miscalculation. He had to start behind him. But white flag, 1 lap to go at Watkins Glen. It's been an interesting race, lots of drama. At a pretty short road course, you wouldn't expect there to be cautions at a road course on iRacing, but 2 of them happened, and arguably more. But anyways, Sam Brochu, he just like a couple more corners into the bus stop. As can be, takes it very conservatively, no need to fly through it and spin out. But final time through the carousel is just taking if you have a 4-second gap to the person in front of you, no need to try to be setting heaters. But coming into the second to last corner, nice and easy. Sam Brochu been dominant for the second half of this race, been all the way in contention for the win. He's going to take the win, coming to the line, Grand Prix, and the Schumacher Cup Series, or Schumacher Racing League Cup Series. I just butchered that final call. Match got spun out of the final corner. Nice save, blocked it out. That's certainly what you don't want to see. A good win from Sam Brochu, and a good effort from him to try and make it back to Brochu, but there was just not enough time. So let's get a finishing order up on the screen so we can tell you who finished where. So Sam Brochu in the 25 finishes P1 in the Finger Lakes Grand Prix. It says Motor City 200, but it is the Finger Lakes Grand Prix. Elliott Drummond in second. Sean Rowe, great showing from him in third. James Thurston had a very interesting race. Showed up in P4. Aiden Walker, P5. Jordan Kuhn spun out from second all the way to the back and had a great recovery up to P6. Blaze McKinney, He was in contention for a podium, and sadly got a little loose. It happens. Trevor Huff had an accident in the final two corners, recovered all the way up to 8th place. Traver C. Burns, a great showing from him in 9th. Shane DeMantova rounds out the top 10. Aaron Schugel in 11th place, Jason Alexander in 12th, Malachi Drake in 13th, Corey Lyles, Jason Radcock, Joseph Lewis, and Alexander Schumacher round out the last remaining cars on track. Riley Marabello, Glenn Bundren Jr., Caleb McKinney, Tristan Troll, Aaron Brown, Luke Peters, and Eric Heater did not finish this race. Oh, yes, my mistake. Luke Peters and Eric Heater did not start this race. But Sam Brochu burns it down for his very well-deserved win at Watkins Glen International. We will do interviews shortly, but a great win to Sam Brochu. So we return to the Schumacher Racing League Cup Series. We're gonna interview our third place, or our first place. Third place. My mistake. Third place interview. I'm tired. I'm sorry about that. Sean Rowe in third place. Started all the way in 21st. Can you hear me, Sean?
Yes, I can.
You did a great job hustling through the field. We had a couple interesting cautions. Uh, did you have a little bit of an incident on qualifying that caused you to drop to the back? Because I know that you tapped the wall or you clipped the grass during your flying lap, and iRacing sends you all the way to the back because it doesn't register your time. What happened during qualifying to start you all the way in the back? You certainly had pace.
Yeah, so I joined right as practice was ending, so I didn't really get a lap in. And on my first qualifying lap, completely missed turn one and got a 1X. And then on my second, I just nailed the bus stop wall, and I was like, well, it's over. Guess we're just gonna have to work through it during the race, and that's what I did.
Well, you certainly did a good job. How did the cautions play out in your favor? Because this was the first time I've ever seen cautions on a road course, and the first time this has happened in SRL Cup Series. So, do you think that the cautions played out to your advantage?
Oh yeah, definitely. On the first run, I think I could have maybe gone up to fifth because I think I had pretty good long run speed, but I think if I didn't have that yellow, best I could do was fifth, and that yellow saved me. First one was pretty clean, and then, like for me at least, and then Thurston and I think Broku got into it. And then second one, I just kept it clean, was able to hold with the lead pack, and we had a big gap, so I knew I had no pressure behind me, and all I had to do was look forward.
Yeah, you had a great run. Do you have any sponsors or people you want to thank before we send you out of here?
Yeah, I'd like to thank PBR, which is run by Zach Todriff, and Burnt Rubber Racing Warehouse, which can get you any racing needs you want. They got merchandise, hats, everything.
All right. Third place finisher, Sean Rowe. We will see you next time.
All right, see ya.
As we're about to bring in our next driver, second place finisher, Elliot Drummond. All right, second place driver, Elliot Drummond in the number 2 car. Another good performance from you. We know you won at Pocono. And so this will definitely help any championship hopes or just good points days that you wanted. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So we saw you comfortably lead the boards in practice. Got pole in qualifying, I believe. And do you think that just Sam Brochu had more race pace, or did those cautions kind of mess you up a little bit?
Well, I do think Sam had more race pace, but it was more like I just didn't adapt back to the track because around like the later half of the run, I was just starting to get really loose, not adjusting to the new braking points, new like how to steer and brake bias. I was not really adapting to the track better than him. I mean, Sam just drove a great race. He was always one driver I always wanted to strive to be like he's one of the first drivers I like competitively raced against on a weekly basis. So just race with him, have fun, and just learn a little bit. I mean, it was all good. It was more my fault for not adapting to the track, but my expectations pretty high. Didn't get the win, but I could throw a hissy fit all I want, and that won't do me any good for next week, which is
Talladega.
Talladega. It won't do me no good for Talladega. So I mean, good race, good finish, decent points, and you know what? We'll move to Talladega and try to go win that one. But thank you to the JFR guys. They were pretty insightful during the race, and it was also pretty fun just being in there. Good job to Sam. He's incredible driver, and I mean, he just deserved this one. He was the best one out there, plain and simple.
And do you have anyone else you want to thank? Any sponsors or people?
Nah, that's good. Oh, actually, just a shout out to there was a Tennessee policeman that died. I don't know how long ago, but my buddy Walker was running a throwback, or not a throwback, but a tribute card to him, and I just want to take the time to say, may the officer rest in peace. But because I know he was close to Walker's family, so hopefully that family is recovering, and shout out to them.
All right, second place finisher, Elliot Drummond. We will see you next time.
Thank you.
As we bring in our winner of the Finger Lakes Grand Prix, Sam Brochu, in the number 25. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you guys.
All right, you drove a great race out there. Battled pretty hard with Elliot Drummond, and then did those cautions help you out a little bit, or were you just locked in and already dialed up to win this race?
Dude, I was like 4.5 laps short. Like those cautions saved me. And after we pitted, I just calculated my fuel a little wrong to where I was only 0.8 to the good, and I knew that wasn't going to cut it. So that entire caution, I just shut it off and coasted, and ended up saving just 2.5 laps through that yellow. But it was an insane race. Like, I wasn't expecting to be able to find the speed at the end like I did. I guess it just took a little longer than expected for those tires to break in, but yeah, for sure. Without those cautions, I definitely would not be standing here.
All right. Do you have I saw that Elliot Drummond took tires during the second pit stop. Do you think that him being stuck behind other cars have really allowed you to pull away and not really have a whole lot of competition, and kind of just not do qualifying laps, but just try to keep it consistent and not hit anything or run off the track?
Yeah, I had seen that he had dropped pretty significantly after pit road, and I just thought he either overfueled the car or if he took tires. And I saw him climbing the leaderboard, and as soon as he got to Blaze, I was like, man, he's on tires. And then he got by Blaze and ran me down about a second. And I thought it was game over at that point, but I found something in my tires. I found something on the track. I don't know what it was, but I was able to just match his lap times, match his pace, and then they're at the end start pulling on him a little bit. So I was definitely spooked by those tires for sure. But I was expecting them to have just a little bit more performance in them rather than the older tires.
All right. Do you have anyone or any sponsors you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, just Barrett and Riley, keeping my head in the game. Jo at Spino Racing, Noah at Four Cloak Media, guys at AK Performance who supply my real life racing. And then just for all those people out there who are really going through stuff, mental health is big, higher nowadays more than it ever has been. So, if you're feeling that just life isn't worth it, please call 988. It will save your life, literally. So there are people out there for you. There are people out there who care for you and love you. So just call that hotline and hopefully you can heal from that. So I think that's it. Elliot for racing me clean. Shuey for putting this show on. Had a little dust ups throughout the race, but overall it was a good one.
All right, that will be our winner, Sam Brochu. Next race at Talladega. I'll see you then, man.
Yep, see ya. Have a good one.
All right, we'll be trying to get an interview from from the league owner, Alexander Schumacher, to see what the reason for the cautions were, because like I've said a billion times over in the stream, there has never been any cautions in SRL on a road course, and none that I've ever seen on a road course. No cautions on a road course that I've ever seen. In my 6 years of iRacing, but I don't know if he can get in the booth right now because he's not in the waiting room. So by next broadcast, maybe we'll give an update. Make sure to keep posted to the SRL Cup Series, social media, their Discord, which will probably be the hub for any updates on why something happened in this race. All right, that will be the end of this stream for the SRL Cup Series at the Finger Lakes Grand Prix at Watkins Glen International. Your commentator for this race is me, Garrett Hess, the producer, the one and only Andrew Schulte, and we thank you for watching, and we thank you for checking out the SRL Cup Series, and we will see you next week at Talladega.